let's start with eyeshadows, my ultimate weakness. And no, I don't need another palette. I have just fallen in love with another palette that I simply must own. I watch Tamara's Timeless Beauty, and she did a collab with Kiki from The Hooded Lid, and Kiki applied Natasha Denona's Retro palette on Tamara. And I thought it was so beautiful. I don't know why I didn't jump on the bandwagon when Retro came out, but it didn't appeal to me at the time. Now I find myself getting more into cooler palettes. I went to my local Sephora and swatched it the other day, and I am absolutely smitten. I have to own that palette. Another one that caught my attention was from the brand Ilia. This is a relatively new brand. I've gotten some of their products in beauty boxes. I swatched their palettes at the store. They seem like very high quality, but since I'm picking up the Natasha Denona, I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up the palette from Ilia because it was the cool one that appealed most to me. And lastly, you know I'm a huge fan of Sephora's Pocket palettes. They came out with 4 new ones not too long ago, the Sun Shadows. I own 3, and I think I'm going to pick up the 4th one. It's the lightest one. At first, I wasn't very into it because it is so light, but now that we're into spring, looking at summer, I can see where I want to play with this shadow. And the Sephora collection, regardless of what level you're at, is 30% off for everyone. So this $10 palette is only $7. Foundation. This is another area where I don't think I need any more foundation. I own over 60 foundations, but I am still on the quest to find the one. And so there are 5 that I am looking at. One of the things I really appreciate about Sephora is that you can get foundation samples. And so I have picked up samples of 3 of these 5 foundations. The first one I tried was from Danessa Myricks Beauty. Danessa Myricks is a makeup artist, self-taught. She's a Black woman and started this amazing makeup brand. It is so well reviewed. I really enjoyed the foundation the one day I tried it. That would be the Yummy Skin Serum Foundation. It says it gives medium to full coverage, and I would agree with that. That it has a natural matte finish, and I will also agree with that. I didn't feel like it accentuated the texture I have or the pores I have or exacerbated my dehydrated skin. Now, it was just a one-day trial. I used primer, I used powder, so it wasn't like I put it through its full paces, but it was pretty promising. Another one that caught my attention was the one from Lawless, the Conceal the Deal Long Wearing Foundation. It says that it's full coverage. I don't know if the bottle didn't get shaken up before my sample was created or if I didn't stir up my sample enough, but it was nowhere near full coverage. And I didn't find it to be super long wearing. So even though it was just a one-day trial, I'm not nearly as excited about this foundation anymore. And then the one I'm trying today is from Patrick Starr. It is the 1 Star Beauty Blurring Balm, which is extremely hard to say. This is supposed to give medium coverage and dry to a natural finish. I will say when I put it on this morning, it felt like putting on latex paint. It was so thick and stiff, but it did work in nicely. It's been about 4 hours since I've put it on. Of course, it's settling into my deepest lines. That's not a surprise. What surprises me a little bit about this one is I'm used to there being a line of foundation. Fine, I get it. This is a deep line. That's going to happen. But it's collected, meaning when I look in this case, a 7X mirror, the sides of that crease are shiny, like they've got no coverage, and everything seems to have settled in the deepest part of the crease. And that I'm not a fan of. The 2 that I could not get samples of were the Guerlain Lingerie Depot Natural Foundation and the Shiseido Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation. I know I can return them if I'm not happy, but I really don't like doing that. Lips. I have a huge lip gloss and lipstick collection, and honestly, it's one of my weaknesses, right up there with eyeshadow. But with the virus and wearing masks for the last 2 years, I just haven't bought much, haven't been into it much, certainly haven't used up anything. One thing I have been looking for a while is a good nude lipstick. There's another Black-owned beauty brand, Fashion Fair. They have a satin creamy lipstick formulation. I was able to swatch at a local Sephora, and the shade Nudette looked like it might be a really good nude shade for me. The other lip product you know I've been in love with, the Sephora collection, the Plumping Lip Gloss, regularly $12. You can pick them up for $8.40. I am going to be picking up 2 more shades of that gloss. I love how moisturizing it is. It's thick without being sticky, and there is just a hint of mint and tingliness in it. Powder's another area where I've kind of been looking for a holy grail one. I own over 20 powders, and you know what? Some of them are lovely, but they're just not like, okay, this is it, this is the one. The closest one, of course, is one we can't get anymore, from Becca, the Hydra Mist Set and Refresh Powder. This one has no talc. It's largely made of silicas and silicone derivatives. I think that's how they got it to be a hydrating powder. The Patrick Star Ultimate Blurring Setting Powder is asbestos-free talc. What I really like, it comes in a mini, so I'm going to give that a try and not have to invest a bunch of money. And the It Bye Bye Pores Translucent Loose Powder is one that I have owned before. I remember being really happy with it, and I'm very curious to see how it reacts these days with my skin. Also, it's a talc-free formulation. Silica is the #1 ingredient, happens to be the same #1 ingredient as this Becca product, so maybe it'll be a good dupe. I'm looking for an eyeshadow primer. For about the last couple of years, I have used the MAC Paint Pot, and for some reason now, I just want something that doesn't have so much color to it. I'm going to try the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Eyeshadow Primer. It's gotten great reviews, and I look forward to giving it a try. I feel like women, especially those of us over 50, have kind of a love-hate relationship with concealer, and it feels like the older I get, the worse my problem gets with lines and wrinkles, and just trying to find a concealer that doesn't make things worse. There's a product from LYS, a triple brightening concealer. It says that it doesn't require setting, so I'm really curious to give that a try. And then the NARS Creamy Concealer. This is one that is well reviewed, and it comes in a mini, which is, of course, a great way to give something a try. If you're enjoying this content, please show me some YouTube love down below, including ringing that bell. Skincare is another area where my stash is quite deep, but there are a couple products I want to try. From the Inky list, the tranexamic acid hyperpigmentation serum. You know, hydroquinone is no longer legal to sell over the counter, and so one of the products that is being used for hyperpigmentation is tranexamic acid. The product I want to compare that to is from The Ordinary, the alpha albutrin serum. That is the other ingredient that is being used now in over-the-counter hyperpigmentation serums. I don't have a lot of hyperpigmentation on my face. I do get an IPL about once a year. That really takes care of that. But I have hyperpigmentation on my arms, and I haven't had good success with IPL on my arms for getting rid of those spots. I'm going to be using these 2 products to see if they can't help lighten the dark spots on my arms. I have no idea how this ended up in my cart, but also from The Ordinary is the Natural Moisturizing Factors Plus HA. Seriously, I saw it in there and I'm like, I don't remember doing that. I went and looked up the ingredients, and there are some really good ingredients in here, and a lot of them. And at the price, who can argue with it? So yeah, I'll give it a try. If you did not see my Sephora Spring Savings Event recommendation video, it's right here for you. It'll be linked on the end screen in just a moment here, along with a special playlist I have put together. As I mentioned in my recommendations video, I have already done videos on so many of those products. I put them all in one playlist just for you. Thank you so much for being here, and have a fantastic day.